Hey everybody, it's me, Remy, the comic book poser. I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. It's Tuesday, so you know what that means. I'm excited to talk about however many books that I'm picking up on this week's new comic book day. Last week, I spent a sacrilegious amount of money, so hopefully I'm spending a lot less than that this week. So to see how many ridiculous books I'm reading this week, you'll have to check it out after this.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alright, don't forget, like I mentioned yesterday, that I, and I'll try and remember to put it right here, announced what I'm giving away for my 1,250 subscriber giveaway, doing a kind of modern grail pop for folks. It is the Pop Tea combo of the Blacklight Spider-Man, and I know that I got a lot of Spider fans out there that pay attention, so help me get to that goal, and that grail could become yours. So let's talk books. Alright, here we go. So after pulling it up, I'm spending less than half of what I did last week, which is nice. So it should be an easier list for me to get caught up on some of the things that I'm behind on, namely X-Men. So let's talk about what I'm getting this week. First up is a book that I'm super intrigued by from Aftershock Comics. It's Almost American #1. It's a Russian intelligence, spy defection kind of story, but their lives get kind of flipped around. That I really enjoy these kinds of espionage-ish flipping stories with their own modern twist, right? I really enjoyed Red Atlantis, which kind of had parts of that dynamic out. I love nearly everything that's coming out of Aftershock now, and I'm ready to keep going on this one. Next up from Marvel is The Avengers #48. The intrigue, the level of intrigue with World War She-Hulk is kind of rising with me, although I'm not the world's biggest, most knowledgeable person about all things She-Hulk. I will say that I read, Red Guardians, the Winter Guardians, this last week and kind of enjoyed it, so if it looks like they are going to play a bigger role in this, right, since that is who has kidnapped She-Hulk, then I'm down to kind of look at how these continue to play along with one another, and I might pick up additional books that tie into the storyline. Of the books that I might be the most excited about coming out this week, I think there are 3 or 4, and the first one of those is Basilisk #4. Y'all know how much I really enjoy this series, how much I really enjoy what Bunn and Scharf are doing on this title. At the end of issue #3, we had kind of a build-up to the big, kind of explosive battle between the Chimera and, our 2 women who are now fighting together against them. So I want to see how this plays out. I also think this cover is stunning, with, one of the members of the Chimera with the rising sun in front of him. I think it's pretty cool. Next up from Image is The Beauty, All Good Things. I don't know a whole lot about this, that, I missed what The Beauty was since it goes back to that world, but I do know that I've really recently gotten into what Jeremy Hahn is doing, that I really liked Red Mother, that I enjoyed previewing his Hanthology Kickstarter that was up, that I got to show up one night on Comic Burrito on their Sunday night show and interview him about that, so I'm intrigued to check this out, and then since it's, the finale, going back and reading the original series, going, damn it, I spoiled it all for myself. Next up from Marvel is Dark Ages #1, and this is the book that was previewed in last year's free comic book day Spider-Man book, or the Spider-Man the Venom book, where the premise is that power shuts off, and I don't know. I'm checking this out, seeing what I think of it. I'll probably give it an issue or 2, and then see how I feel from it. Next up from Marvel is Demon Days Cursed Web #1. This is a continuation of some of the one-shots that Peach Momoko is doing in her world of the X-Men, that I enjoy the premise of what she's got going on in here, that I really like the artistic style. I think it lends itself quite well to the story that she is attempting to tell, and I think this is the third one of these to come out. Maybe. Next up from Image Skybound is Firepower #15. This has just been yo-yo-ish to me. I enjoyed issues number 13 and 14, so we'll see what happens now that we see, creepy snakes everywhere. Next up, also from Image, is Geiger number 6. I've been loving this series. It's the end of the first arc. We get a double-sized issue, and the price didn't go up, that it's, still $4.99, so I won't complain about that. But we get to see the glowing man use elements of the past to help stick up for his family's future. I'm intrigued to see what they decide to resolve in this and what they decide to hang for the next coming story arc. But this story has been surprisingly good to me. Hellions. I'm behind. Many Deaths of Layla Starr. I know she is still hunting, for Darius, who is the child that ends up creating immortality. I just enjoy the the premise of this. I think that Ram V is telling a hell of a story and is hooked up with a hell of an artist to just kind of walk us through this, fall and attempt to rise again of death. This is the second book this week that I might be ridiculously excited for. Y'all know how much I love Money Shot, that it is just the right amount of wild for me. So we get to see the Triple Explorers, team up with the Triple Explorers parody and the Triple Explorers. It's wild, but I know that we've only got, I think, 3 more issues of this, unless Seeley and Beatty can arm twist the good folks at Vault Comics to just let this story keep riding, because it's wild as hell. The book that I am hands down the most excited for, and I hope that this is one of the Scout books that doesn't get pushed back another week, it's Mullet Cop Number One. Just from the title, I knew I would love this. You've seen me wear a Mullet Cop shirt, and it was before the Ash Can even came out, that I want to see what this mall cop does, or former mall cop does to continue to take down threats. That this looks like a badassier version of Paul Blart if he had a mullet. New Mutants, I'm behind, but apparently they're on the moon again. Parasomnia number 3 from Dark Horse, another Cullen Bunn story that I am liking, watching what is happening as we kind of, transition between two worlds. That this has been a story that issue 1 I was intrigued by, issue 2 I had to read it 2 or 3 times to really feel what was going on, but I'm real excited about issue number 3. Next up from Aftershock is Phantom of the Scan. Holy shit, did we see a big turn happen at the end of issue number 4 in terms of kind of the motive for why these people were brought together and what exactly the force that is stalking them is. So if you want a good kind of psychological horror that deals with like telepaths and stuff, then you want this one. We've got the Conclusion of Sinister War. I think I still have to read issue number 3. I think it's over in my to-read pile. We've got Static number 3 coming out. Again, I am in love with these retelling of the Milestone, or the new tellings of the Milestone tales, and the same reason that I'm enjoying some of the things that Valiant's got coming out with their, Exo Man-O-War, Ninjak, and soon to come Harbinger. And the other book that I may be super excited about for this week is Telepaths number 1. It's another Straczynski book, so as I continue to have my, Charlie Day style, hunting of the Nightman, building conspiracy theories of, bulletin boards to figure out what is happening as everything continues to play itself out in the Resistance universe. I want to see what happens in this world where, instead of the pandemic giving people powers that an EMP has, folks that have telepathic powers, that there are going to be some deep ties to the government on this one, because you can see the seal of the President of the United States in the background. So, yes, please. This might be the very first book I read this week. And then, rounding out our list from Image, we've got Undiscovered Country 15. I really think this possibility arc may be setting itself up to be my favorite of the 3 arcs so far, as we look at, the use of creativity and how things only continue to get weirder and creepier as they dive deeper into the different American zones. And then, what might be hands down my favorite artistic book at this moment in time is We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Number 8 comes out, that Al Ewing is telling a hell of a story, but I think Simone DeMeo in their use of art in this book is just changing what it means to create a beautiful, beautiful comic. As always, we'll check out what our friends over at Scout have coming on. First up, we've got Locust number 4. I still have to get caught up on this series, but I really enjoyed number 1 when I got it in my Scout box. Black Cotton number 5 is set to come out this week, but I know that Black Cotton number 4 got delayed a week or two, so if we get caught up, then hell yeah. Because I think this is probably one of my favorite story premises, not just right now, but in the last decade. I already talked about Mullet Cop. I've been enjoying what's been happening in all of the different Tart kind of one-off stories that that are relatively entertaining to me. And then you've got a Scoot book coming out in Little Guardians number 1, and I enjoy reading those. That these become a good palate cleanse to me, especially because I get to think about how I can use these to interact with my own small children, who are A, getting into reading, and B, enjoying comics because they want to like what Daddy likes. So what do you think? Is there anything that is on my list for this week that you think I should not pick up? Anything that I am missing out on that you think I need to be on the hunt for? If so, I know if you're in the chat, you'll let me know over here. If you're watching this on the rewind, then as always, please let me know down in the comments below. But as always, y'all, thanks for stopping by, and have a good one.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.